I make flutes. I live up on Union Springs, on Cayuga Lake, on our territory. We are returning to our homeland. The Cayuga Nation has been homeless for 200 or more years. We're finally coming home, and we're reestablishing ourselves on the land. We've lived on other reservations, and I lived in California for 30 years, but my childhood was on Tuscarora Reservation outside of Niagara Falls. So my memory of my childhood goes back to playing outside, playing in the streams, ice skating in the wintertime, all throughout the swamps, and just having a good time outside. So when I heard the flutes, the cording flutes, I heard animals and birds in it. And I started making flutes in '81. And as I started to make music, I had to think of something to focus on when I was playing. And so what I did is I heard the sound of the birds and the animals. And so that was what I was hearing in the sound of the flutes. And as I got to play and to travel, and eventually I made some music and put it out for people at the powwows and art shows and stuff, I learned that one of the most powerful flutes has a warble in it. It's Northern Plains has a flute that they call it the elk antler flute, and the elk power. But the sound of it has a warble. So when I play that, the sound that I hear is a bubbling artesian well, way in the deep well. Walk down the stairs, go get the water, and come back. I'm taught as a child that we're caretakers of the earth, and everything we do to the earth, we affect. What we do for a living affects the natural world. So this song is called Aquifer because water's the most important thing besides air and besides the ground bringing up our plants and medicines and cleansing the air, changing bad air to good air. All those things that we exist on in the natural world are very important, and water is what makes all of that go around. One time I was waiting for an interview over by Iroquois Wildlife Swamps, just north of Tonawanda Indian Reservation by Akron, New York. And I'm waiting, and there's puddles on the ground. And what I saw was an oil sheen from somebody's car on the water. And it was, you could see the ripples of the air going by and making indentations on the puddle. And I realized that if we allow the water to not evaporate and we hinder that process of becoming clouds, then we're stopping our cycle of water return. And that's what hydrofracking is doing. It's changing the content of the water. It's changing the chemical composition of the water so that it doesn't do that very well. And eventually it's going to catch up to us. So I have a few questions for you. I've been following hydrofracking since I heard about it. I've been saving all the magazines, articles on it. Still trying to put it on a website. I work for the Haudenosaunee Environmental Task Force. We are responsible for taking care of our environment and our territories. I also work with the National Tribal Operations Committee for the EPA. There's 10 regions in the EPA, and I'm Region 2's representative for Indian Nations. So I sit on the national board in Washington, D.C., and we travel all over the country. All the nation's representatives in NTOC have been pressuring EPA to enforce and to really protect the environment with the hydrofracking. All of them. We've all said that. We keep pushing for that. Every meeting is on our agendas on how we can help and how we can change what's going on. Because the one question I have is that if you can't use hydrofracking fluids in the ocean, what makes people think we can use it on land? When they put the pressure on the ground and on the water to frack the shale, all the abandoned wells that we don't know of will have an access to the upper aquifers, the upper levels of water, because we can't control, even today, a secure casement all the way down to the water levels that they're trying to, the gas levels that they're trying to get. So that's the biggest thing, is that if you can't use it in the ocean, why are we using it on land? Because just 3 days ago, Toronto, the Waterloo Record had an article saying that the world's oceans are in danger of collapsing because of the damage we've done to the land, to the water. So what we exist on affects our lives, our kids' lives, and their kids' lives. So, thank you.